I would say first of all, it's a good business. It's an easy one. In the sense, it's a business you can start with no capital and come out of it with profit. It's one business you can start with no much amount of money and be able to go far in life. You know, so many businesses when you want to start it, they will tell you have to do this, do that, do this and do that. But in real estate, people become CEOs, owners of properties, without having to raise much capital at the start. It's all about ideas, wisdom, prayer, and the grace of God. Then hard work. That is one. And real estate involves a lot of carefulness. That's where the wisdom comes to play. Because you are dealing with families, you are dealing with communities. At times you are dealing with the state. That's when you bought properties with allocation, government allocation. So it demands a lot of wisdom. Some of these properties, when you are buying them, at first, there may not be any problem over the property. It is your duty as the one who's going to sell to other people to make sure that there will be a lasting peace on your estate. One of those being doing what everything you're supposed to do. There are a lot of opportunities in real estate, like you may have some agreement with owners of property that will allow you to have access to the property so that within a particular period of time you finish your payment and have total possession. As a realtor, your duty is to make sure to finish your payment and have total what? Possession. Because any lapses will still come back to you. Real estate is not like vehicle. It is not movable, it is there. So no matter how cunning you are, you will still come back to your lies and cheat in the end. So it is something, if you want to thrive in it, where you want to buy from the community, from families, from the government, be true, be straightforward. Any lies will come back to you. Maybe you're supposed to buy a particular quantity of property and it is excess. Tell them that it's excess. If they want to continue with you, fine. If you say it's not excess, at the time somebody from the community will wake up and say, "Oh, the property we sold to you is supposed to be this quantity, but it is much." They will come back to it. And then when they come back to it, it becomes what? A problem. It's one thing you must do with sincerity and make sure that you do not own landowners. Most of the real estate you are seeing, we are having issues today, they are here. Tomorrow they are no longer there. It is problem with landowners. You know, every day land appreciates. So if you bought from a community and you were like, today is 200,000 and you're supposed to finish your payment this year, you didn't. 4 years, 5 years, you wanted to finish the payment and they were like, okay, now the property is 5 million. You have to pay 5 million, pay the remaining ones. So that's the reason you must do everything to do what? Finish your payment. No matter how enticing the property money is, make sure you own a property. It is better to own a property than to postpone it. Okay, let me, as I have the opportunity, a good agreement with this village, let me just continue keeping the money. Keeping the money is a risk, but keeping the land is valuable. When you must have bought almost all the land from the community, they cannot sell without you. And at that moment, even if they are angry, they can do nothing because you are now the owner of what? And you have done everything necessary to be done. No, you are not owing anybody. These are tips of real estate. And then again, if you are buying, if you bought any allocation, it is no 100% sure or protected. Any allocation is not 100% protected, even if when you have C of O. But in my years in real estate, I noticed that C of O's are means of revealing your property to the government. If you have property that is above 100, go and do power of attorney, register it. Don't go for C of O. Because any governor that comes up looks at C of O, not power of attorney, not registered deeds. They check C of O or and allocations. Those are the ones you hear that governments are encroaching on. Any property that have nothing to do with C of O, government won't encroach on it. Because when a new government comes in, they will be like, we bring the lands in this area. They will bring lands with C of O and allocation paper. These are the ones the government are aware of. So sometimes registering your property, big property, if you have 100 plus, instead of registering estate of 100 plus, register it on the name of the buyers. 1 plus, 2 plus, 30 plus. So they will not see it as one person is having 100 plus of what. Wow. When the area becomes a prime land, is what we call prime land. Any land around this area now is prime land. When it becomes a prime area, because development makes a bush area prime what? Area. Government will come there. Any property with 100 plots and see of where they will go for it. Meanwhile, there are people with 200 properties, 300 plots of land that have no document. Government will not go there because they are not aware of it. So when you are preparing documents, you'll be cautious of that. And again, buying property in an estate or anywhere that have one general C of O is a risk. Because assuming Pine Leaf Estate now we register all our estate with one C of O, you came and build on it. Your house is our property. With that C of O and the buildings, we can go and borrow money from the bank without your knowing of it. And if we are not able to pay, bank will come in and take the properties. Because the owner of the C of O over the estate borrowed with it. So in our time, people will say, go and buy general C of O. General, it is not that safe. Because somebody is the owner of the general C of O, which is not you. So whatever you are building on that person's property is his property. He will not come to argue with you or drag the property with you, but he can borrow with it as much as he wants. If he doesn't pay, you can only pay to be safe. And when the situation where the owners cannot able to foot the bill, the bank takes over the whole property. Ignorant of the law is not an excuse. So buying properties with one registered C of O is not a good one. Buy, register your own, especially in Asaba now. Registering of C of O is not that expensive. It's something you can always achieve on your own. So instead of like these areas we are selling now, you can do the C of O now. Because before next year, it may become expensive when we must have gone far on the development. When the government comes out, okay, this place have achieved development, okay, they will increase the price. The areas that are expensive in C of O are developed areas. The less salubrious part of the town is not expensive. You go there, buy property, do your C of O at the same time. The difference in price of the C of O and that of survey plan may be times 3 or 4. You get your own C of O. You keep it. As the place appreciates, that C of O does what? Appreciates. That's how it goes. But meanwhile, you have done it before. That's why you can see people who have 1,000 plots with C of O. They did it at the time the area is not yet developed. So what again I have to other information on
how to get passports.
Okay. I don't think I know much about it. Okay, how to talk to clients, as you know, the major things about property. One is that if you have property, if you don't have money and you have property, you can easily raise money. Assuming you want to travel outside the country and you don't have money, you have people in your community who are rich. If you approach them and be like, I have a property, so they will listen to you. When you're in need of money and you went to beg someone and said, mention I have land, you will listen to the person. Maybe it's one about say, okay, Mama, go and check her land. They'll go and check. They will check if it's good, and if you really appreciate, as you say, they will pay you. Automatically, the money you are looking for does what? So money is a property is a form of money. Instead of keeping your money in the bank, you tell the person, buy the land, keep it. So there are some people that will have 10 million, 20 million, they will leave it in the bank. Every day the money depreciates. It does not appreciate. But if they use it and buy property, every day the property does what? Appreciates. Like some of the properties we are selling today, there was a time we sold them at the rate of 250,000. Some property we are selling millions today, there were time we sold them at the rate of 600,000.
Wow.
But today you see them 5 million and people are buying them. So the most important thing about telling someone to buy property is to tell them what they are going to gain. It may not be instant, but they will still gain over time. And when it comes to our property, we make sure that even if you buy from us today, you can gain tomorrow. Because we don't close the deal.
Yeah.
There are some properties you bought, you will buy, the day you are buying it, the person selling it to you have closed the deal. In most areas, we do ask questions. People will tell us that they are selling 1 point something million a year, we still take 800. Why are we doing that? If somebody buys $1 million from us, or even $1.2 million, the person can still sell $1.5 million instantly and make your profit. But there are people that will come to the same area and sell 2 million. These people are closing the deal. So when you are marketing your property, so tell them that you're not closing the deal. The areas that sold at such rate, we are selling to this rate to you. So even now you can even use that business and still make profit. So these are things you can tell your buyers so that they can want to invest, and they can let them know that in our own, we don't just sell land, we make sure you possess land. That's the most important thing, possession. We help our buyers to possess the land. So in a situation whereby you bought from us and you will not leave you because you want to start building and say, okay, go and meet the community. We are going to walk through with you to make sure you build and do what? Occupy. It's another thing to let them know. We will be with you until you build and do what? Occupy. Some estates don't do that. And we will never in any situation tell you, okay, the things are rough here. In that case, come and contribute money so we'll tackle it. We don't pray for problem, but if any situation beyond our own control arises, we'll tackle it by ourselves. We don't need to come in and start having meeting. Okay, call your clients, let them contribute money. Like some people, we don't do that.
Okay. Please, can we put our hands together?
These are areas to let them know. You buy and we'll let you possess with it. And we don't spend much, years preparing for allocation. In fact, the kind of fire we put our surveyors on. Like today, I have to go to the site again. I call the surveyor. The first said, please, first thing tomorrow and starting work, non-stop. He left everything he have to do to make sure we did the allocation with it. And he's trying to cover up. I said, whether you cover up or not, we are doing allocation Monday. And it's a must. That's how we do it. We make sure that we don't keep our buyers waiting.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So we make sure that they buy and they get what they do, what they paid for, which is most important. These are the things you need to tell them about. And we are friendly with any community. In any community we own land, we don't fight with them. So if you are at that site and any problem arises, the community will come out. Even the king will be interested because we are friendly with every one of them to make sure that the person in question have no troubles. So these are the points you give them, the price, the opportunity that comes with it, and whoever wants to buy will buy.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
And that's it for real estate. So, Mary.